Sairam to all of you. Let's just wait a few more minutes for everyone to arrive and we will continue the evaluation. Okay, so let me see who's left here. Yes, Vishesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, are you ready?
Yes,
Yes, present.
yes, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, screen is visible.
Yes, your
Ma'am,
screen is visible. Go ahead.
Om Shri Sairam. Today I am going to presenting my presentation from chapter number 1, Power Sharing. Power sharing as practiced in Belgium and Sri Lanka. Belgium and Sri Lanka. Similarities, both are democracies. Differences, power is sharing, arrangement is different. What is unique about Belgium? Leaders have realized that unity of the country is possible only by representing the feeling and interest of different community and region. What was the drawback in the system followed by Sri Lanka? Dominance of majority community sin helps by refusing to share power with Tamil, resulting in disunity. Power sharing in Belgium, equal number of minister from Dutch, French speaking areas in the central government. No single community can make decision in unilaterally. Transfer of power from the center to the state. State government will not be subordinate to the center. Separate government in Brussels with equal representation for the French and the Dutch. Formation of formation of community government elected by the people belonging to one language community Dutch, French, and German, wherever they live. This have possible regarding culture, education, and language related issues. Community and region of Belgium. Brussels, capital region, Dutch were a minority. Wallonia, 40% French and rich, powerful. Flemish, 59% Dutch, benefit of education and economy development. German, 1%. Reasons for alienation of Sri Lankan Tamil majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Reasons: dominance of Sinhalese community due to majority. 1956 Act made Sinhalese as the only official language. Preferentially policies favoring Sinhalese in university possible and jobs. State to protect and foster Buddhism. Ethnic communities of Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan Tamil, occupy N&E, Hindus and Muslims. Tamil 18%, Hindu Tamils, Hindu and Muslims. Sinhalese 74% Buddhist. Both Sinhalese and Tamil 7% Christian, Muslim 1%. Position of Sri Lankan Tamil. Launched political parties and struggles of recognizing Tamil as an official language. Demanded autonomy, equal opportunity in education and job, political organization was formed demanding an independent Tamil Elam in North and East Sri Lanka. Why, in a democracy, should political power be distributed? People are the source of all power. People rule themselves through institutions on self governments. Due respect is given to diverse groups and views. All have voice in shaping public policies. Thank you.
Okay. Next will be Anjan.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Anjan present in the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, my screen is visible. Ma'am. Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible. Go ahead.
Om Shri Saranam. Today my topic is technology and institutional reforms. Agriculture has been practiced in India for thousands of years. Sustained use of land without compatible techno-institutional changes have hindered the pace of agriculture development. Why has India not improved in technical and institutional reform in agriculture? In spite of development of resources, irrigation, most of the farmers in large part of the country still depend upon monsoon and natural fertility in order to carry on their agriculture. Agriculture needs serious technical and institutional reforms. Collectivization, consolidation of holding, cooperation, and abolition of zamindari, etc., were given priority to bring reforms in country after independence. Land focus was the main focus of the first 5-year plans. Right of inheritance has led to fragmentation and landholding. Law lands reforms were enacted, but law of implementation were lacking. What were the steps taken by government in agriculture reforms? Government of India embarked upon introducing agriculture reforms to improve India agriculture in 1960s and 1970s. Green Revolution based on use of package technology, and White Revolution Operation Flood, were some of the strategies initiated to improve Indian agriculture. But these led to the uh, concentration of development in few selected areas. Therefore, in 1980s and 1990s, the Comprehensive Land Development Program was initiated, which include both institutional and technical reforms, provisions of crops insurance against calamities, establishment of Grameen banks, cooperative societies, and bank of providing loan facilities to farmers at lower rates of interest were some steps taken. Other steps taken: Kisan Credit Card (KCC), Personal Accident Insurance Scheme (PAIS), are some other schemes introduced by government for India for the benefit of the farmers. Moreover, special weather bulletins and agriculture programs for farmers were introduced on radio and television. The government also announced a minimum support price, uh, remunerative and procurement prices of important crops to check the exploitation of farmer by speculators and middlemen. Contribution of agriculture to the national economy, employment and outfits. Agriculture has been backbone of Indian economy through its share in the gross domestic product (GDP) has registered a declining trend from 1951 onwards. In 2010 to 2011, about 52% of total workforce was employed by the farm sectors. Declining the share of agriculture in the GDP is the matter of serious concern because any decline and stagnation in agriculture will lead to a decline in other spheres of economy having wider implications for society. Establishment of Indian Council of Agriculture Research (ICAR), agricultural universities, veterinary services and animal breeding centers, hor- horticulture development, research and development in the field of meteorology and weather forecast etc. We are given priority to improving Indian agriculture. Food security was a food security system in order to ensure availability of food to all sections of society. Our government carefully designed a national food security system. It consists of two components: buffer stock and public distribution system (PDS). PDS is a program which provides food, grain, and other essential commodities at subsidized price in rural and urban areas. The primary objective of policies is to ensure food grains to common people at affordable price. The policy focuses on growth of agriculture production and on fixing the support price for procurement of wheat and rice to maintain the stock. Food Corporation of India (FCI) procures and stock food grains where distribution is ensured by PDS. Impact of globalization on agriculture. In 19th century, when European trade came to India, Indian spices were exported to different countries of the world and farmers were encouraged to grow their crops. Even today, it is one of the important export items from India. During the British period, cotton belts of India attached the British and eventually cotton was exported to Britain as a raw material for the textile industries. The Champaran movement started in 1917 in Bihar because the farmers of the region were forced to grow indigo for British textile industries. Under globalization, particularly after 1990, Indian farmers have been exposed to new challenges. Despite India brings an important producer of rice, cotton, rubber, tea, coffee, jute, and spices, our agricultural products are not able to compete with developed countries due to their highly subsidized agriculture in those countries. To make agriculture successful and profitable, proper trust should be given to the improvement of condition of marginal and small farmers. The Green Revolution promised much, but it is being alleged that it was caused land degradation. The keyword today, Gene Revolution, which include genetic engineering. In fact, organic farming is much in vogue today because it is practiced without factory-made chemicals such as fertilizers and pesticides, and it does not affect environment in negative manner. Indian farmers have a bleak future if they continue growing food grain on holding that grow smaller and smaller as the population rises. Indian farmers should be diversify their cropping pattern from cereals to high value crops. This will increase income and reduce environmental degradation simultaneously. India's diverse climate can be harnessed to grow a wide range of high valuable crops. Did you know organic agriculture will adapt to climate change more quickly? Thank you.
Okay. Next will be Yuvraj.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, is the screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Federalism. How does India practice power sharing? By creating distinguished states, which has made administration easier. New states have been created since 1947. Second, no language has been given the status of national language by the Constitution. Third, the restriction of power sharing between center and state, rise of regional
Rotate
political.
your phone. I can't see your slide.
Now,
Yes, better. Go ahead.
restricting of power sharing between center and state, rise of regional political parties and coalition government has led to a new culture of power sharing. Threefold distribution of legislative power. Residuary powers are subjects which do not fall under these three lists. Union government alone has the power to make laws, example computer software. Link, links, listing usage states. Many new states have been formed, boundaries have been changed, people of common language have been brought together. States as created on the basis of culture, ethnicity, and geography has made the country united and administration made easy. Example Nagaland, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand. Language policy. No language has been given the status of national language. Central government can't impose Hindi on non-Hindi speaking states. 22 language has been recognized as scheduled languages. Central agrees to use English along with Hindi by the flexibility is shown. Central state relation. Central government cannot undermine the power of a state or dismiss them. Coalition government power sharing is more effective today. What brought about the real success of federalism in India? Nature first, nature of democratic politics. Second, respect, respect of for democratic politics. Third, desire for living together. What undermines the spirit of federalism? Centrum is using the constitution to dismiss the state government that was controlled by rival parties. Coalition government lead to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of a state government. That's it, ma'am. Thank you.
Is that all? Has he been disconnected from the meeting or his presentation is over?
Ma'am, over.
Well, you know you are not within time, so I hope you're not expecting good marks for this. Yes, Mitushi.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is the screen visible? Ma'am, is the screen visible? Ma'am, may I start?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Suzanne.
So let us talk about development of resources. Before we study this, first of all, we must know why do we need to develop resources. Resources are not free gifts of nature, as resources are a function of human activities. Human beings themselves are essential components of resources. They transform material available in our environment into resources and use them. Like for example, river. River is a natural resource, but river became a resource when its water is used for irrigation or for power production. Here, human beings are transforming its water into resources by making it useful. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature, and as a result, human beings use them indiscriminately. So, we are not simply using them, but we are overusing them or even exploiting them. Their overutilization has led to many problems like depletion of resources, indiscriminate exploitation of resources, accumulation of resources in few hands. Uh, Depletion of resources means that we have used the resources to that extent that the resources are now depleting day by day, reducing day by day. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources means when we don't think about, when we don't put a lot of thought in that is known as indiscriminate exploitation. Accumulation of resources means rich people have more resources than poor people, and poor people have to have the burnt of it. Means rich people use more resources and poor people have to face its consequences. Then accumulation of resources occur for be it land, technology, electricity, or anything else. Rich people accumulate resources with them, and then the society gets divided into haves and haves not, and rich and poor. We can learn this by an acronym DIA, DIA, D for depletion, I for indiscriminate use, and A for accumulation. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources had led to global ecological crises such as global warming, land degradation, ozone layer depletion, and environmental pollution. Therefore, a fair distribution of resources is essential for sustained quality of life and global peace. Now, let us think of sustainable development. We have been hearing this word from younger classes. Development without damaging the environment means do development, no problem in doing development, but don't damage the environment. Present pace of development should not compromise with the needs of the future generation. Means take care of the present generation, but at the same time take care of the needs of future generation also. This can be achieved through proper planning. Now let's get to resource planning. Planning is widely accepted strategy for judicious use of resources. It can lead to efficient use of resources. Some regions lack in certain resources. Uh, you know what? Everyone cannot get everything. So some of the states are rich in something and some other states are rich in something else. That's why we need to do planning. For example, Rajasthan. Rajasthan has solar and wind energy but lacks in water resources. Arunachal Pradesh has water resources but lacks in infrastructure. Ladakh has very rich cultural heritage but lacks in infrastructure and water. Thus, balanced resource planning at national, state, and regional and local levels is required. Now, process of resource planning. It mainly involves three steps: identification across various regions, like where which resource is available. In this, qualitative and quantitative estimation is required. Evolving planning structure. So we must know how to use it, how to use a thing. For this, we need appropriate technology, skill, and institutional setup. Third, last but not the least, matching resources development plan with all overall national development plans. India followed the policy of resource planning from the first 5-year plan. India realized this from colonial rule. Actually, they did not teach us, but they definitely exploit us. They had that technology. We had our resources. They used that technology to exploit us. Then we get to know that just valuability of resources is not necessary. We need technology and also need quality of human resources. Now, conservation of resources. So, why is it necessary? Because human beings are insensitive, human beings are selfish, and we have not just been using the resources, we have been exploiting them. Overutilization have been happening. Irrational consumption and overutilization of resources lead to socio-economic and environmental pollution. Now, according to Gandhiji had told us that there is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. He was against selfish individual and exploitative nature of modern technology. He was completely against the technology. He believed that technology is an exploitative medium for depleting more resources. He was also against mass production and wanted to replace it with production by the masses. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, we will continue this in the next class, and hopefully we'll be done with this activity today. And as you can remember, on 21st we have the Google form test. So that will be all for this class. Thank you and Sairam.